Hey, friend, welcome back to the Concierge Weight Loss Podcast. I'm Kara Hackelman, and this is week 4 of our Mindset for Success series. And today we're talking about something that every single woman I coach asks me about. How do I stay consistent? Not just when things are going well, not just when I'm motivated, because that's what we all think we need, but even on the hard days, even when life gets chaotic. If you've ever found yourself saying, I was doing so good, and then the weekend hit, or I just need to get some motivation, I or I can't stick with it unless I do it right. Like unless it's perfect, unless I see the scales moving, unless. This episode is definitely for you. Let me tell you what consistency used to look like for me. Monday through Friday, on point, doing the things. Saturday and Sunday, complete derailment. The weekends were like my own personal rebellion. I'd tell myself I was being good all week, so I deserved a break. That's what living was, right? It was supposed to be having fun. Why else would I want to lose weight? And it always felt like if I wasn't doing it perfectly, I wasn't going to be doing it at all. And I knew that the weekend wasn't going to be perfect. Eventually, I realized that wasn't about the food. It was about how I was thinking. I was swinging between perfection and deprivation and rebellion until I finally stopped putting good and bad labels on food and my efforts and started listening to my hunger cues. I gave myself permission to eat what I wanted, but also permission to stop when I had had enough, when I was satisfied. And you know what? Those foods I used to obsess over on the weekends, they stopped feeling like the thing that made the weekend special. Because the mindset was no longer my thinking, it was no longer all or nothing. It was, this is just what I do now. It's just how I take care of myself. It's just some things. I can have that anytime. I remember that one too. Consistency doesn't mean you do everything right. It doesn't mean you never miss a habit. It means you keep coming back to what works without the drama. One of my favorite client reminders is it's not failing until you give up. And you only want to quit. I love telling them this. You only want to quit because you're making this harder than it needs to be. So consistency gets easier when you stop making it complicated. One of my clients who has since made amazing progress, she struggled a lot with the scale at first. She'd lose a pound and then she'd stall and then she'd gain or then she'd lose. And every time it went up, she thought, I must be doing something wrong. But she kept doing the habits. She was planning and tracking and sleeping, and she was getting her water in, and we were coaching her brain. Eventually, she found a setting in this app that we like to use. I think it's called Happy Scale. Uh, Eventually, in that app, she let it zoom out. And look at the whole journey. So the daily graph of what her weight was every day or every weigh in, it was a mess. It was up and down and all over the place and pausing, right? But when she zoomed out to look at the whole, I think it was like a year at a glance or the whole journey, I forget how it was, consistently trending down. That was so exciting. That shifted everything for her. She wasn't failing, she was just downward trending, right? She just needed to stop micro measuring the process. The progress was happening. It just, some days it was a little up, some days it was a little down. And I teach the ladies I work with why. I mean, hormones and the food we hate and whether or not we worked out and what the humidity is. There's so much in our control and so much more out of our control with what the exact number on the scale is. So when she looked at the big picture, man, it just shifted everything for her in her brain. She saw that she had that downward trend. Let me call out some of the all or nothing thinking that kills consistency. A lot of times people only track when they're doing well. They're afraid of the number, they're afraid of the habit tracking or whatever, the assessing of what they were doing or making a plan if it's not right, if it's not perfect. And so that's what coaching is about. We'll then work on why is it being so like judgmental and critical to you to not have it be perfect. Only assessing when you followed the plan, still kind of that same thing. Making a plan that only works for your ideal week. So like, you know, Pinterest, Pinterest worthy menu plans or meal prepping. So you only make a plan for what ideal weight loss should look like, right? I used to joke that everybody thought weight loss was salads and rice, chicken, and broccoli. So making a meal plan that only is completely ideal, not for you, but for like weight loss. Um, some all or nothing thinking, quitting because the scale didn't go down yet. That's definitely some all or nothing thinking. Let's throw out all the, 20 pounds we lost because we didn't lose 60 yet. If this is hitting a little too close to home, don't worry. You're in good company. These are super common and totally coachable. And yes, I can tell you, I have done every one of these. I have thought it, done it, all the things. So it's very common. You are in good company here. Here's another big mindset shift. You don't need motivation to be consistent because everyone comes to me and says, I just need to find some motivation. And I thought, if you find where you hid that stuff at, let me know because that's not how it works. I used to believe that motivation was this magical feeling that just showed up when I was doing well and disappeared when I wasn't. But now I know motivation is a byproduct of momentum. Just start doing the things. You take action, and then motivation shows up to catch up with you. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to wait until Monday. You just need to take one little tiny doable action. Just do one. It starts that momentum, it starts that motivation. One of my favorite mindset tools comes from a book called The Gap and the Gain. So here's the short version of my favorite part of this. Most of us measure ourselves by how far we are from the goal. Like, I have 20 pounds more to lose. I have this much more until whatever. That's the gap from how far we are to where we want to be. But we forget to measure how far we've come. That's called the gain. So the book's called The Gap and the Gain. So we have gained where we are currently. So whether it's 20 pounds or whatever if it's your education, like I haven't reached my degree yet, but I'm like 2 years in. Like that's the gain. We've learned so much in our weight loss. We've accomplished so much. We've figured so many things out. That's the gain. When you shift from the gap, how much more I have to go, which is really you looking at all the things you haven't accomplished yet, to the gain, you'll find proof that you're growing. Look how far I've come. It's amazing. That's what helps you stay consistent, even when progress feels slow, because you're seeing the truth of your efforts. So, want a fun, simple tool that builds consistency? I love the Habit Share app. My clients can use it. You can tag a friend. So if you have an accountability friend, you can have them see what habits you're doing. My clients can tag me on it so I can see their habits. The Habit Share app, you get to decide what you're tracking, how often you're wanting to hit that goal, that kind of thing. You get to check off habits each day, and you'll start noticing something. There is power in not wanting to break the streak of the habit. You'll do the thing, whatever the habit is, just to hit that green bubble to be able to say you did it because you don't want a red one in the middle of it. Small habit, daily streak, big confidence. So, if you're wondering where to start, here's what I recommend. Pick one habit to focus on. And I really love when my clients start with water and sleep. That's what I encourage. These support hunger and energy and mindset. And a lot of times they're easier to get a win there than it is with food. So start with one habit, and I prefer you to start with water and sleep. Ask yourself, what would consistency look like if it was easy? So, consistency, if it was easy, how many times a week would it be? Would I be doing this most of the time? How many ounces of water? How many hours of sleep? If it wasn't a big deal at all, what would it look like? And then repeat this phrase. It's not a failure unless I quit. So, if I only go to bed one day this week that got me enough sleep, it's not a failure because I missed six. It's a success because I didn't quit. I'm going to try two next week. Repeat this phrase. This only feels hard because I'm making it hard, right? I said I could go to bed one day this week early. That isn't hard, right? I definitely could do one day, especially if I'm not trying to do it on a day that we have to stay up late for something. So that's me making it easy. It's making it so easy that I can get a win. Repeat this phrase. If I want to quit, it's probably time to simplify. If you're wanting to quit, it is definitely you making it too hard. And so it's not that you're never going to be able to make it to that next level, but right now, let's simplify it. Let's make it so absolutely attainable that you can, that you will, that you'll be excited to, and then you're going to be excited to try another thing. So, journal prompt for the week. Where have I been consistent even if the results haven't shown up yet? I'm attempting to go to bed early every night this week. That's where my consistency has been in the attempts, even if I haven't been successful yet. What would it, and the next question, what would it be like to be consistent without being perfect? So, would it be trying? Would it be in doing part of it, even if it wasn't all of it? So many days, or, maybe I'm not getting 8 hours of sleep, but I'm getting 6.5, and that's better than the 4 before. Reflect, celebrate, keep going. I love it. I love it. All right. You don't need to be perfect. You don't. You don't need to always feel motivated because I tell you a lot of times I do stuff I don't feel like doing. You don't need to overhaul your whole life this week. Nope. You just need to keep showing up in a way that fits your real life, yours, one small win at a time. And the more you do that, the easier it gets to be that consistent version of you. You're already on your way. Already. You're already doing so much. So, you want help building consistent habits that actually work with your life? Join the free webinar, coachingkara.com/sign up and grab your space there. Do you want help figuring out what's holding you back from staying consistent? I love to talk to you one-on-one. Book a free personalized solutions call with me at coachingkara.com/free call. All right. P.S. You don't need to wait for motivation. Just start and let motivation meet you there. See you next week for our final episode in this series, letting go of comparison and embracing your journey. You don't want to miss it.